Yes. He had a good first round, but second and third, he did take me down, but he didn't do nothing with it. His face was bleeding.
2 weeks or 3 weeks for this fight. I had to bury my best friend, and I dedicated this fight. I wasn't going to fight. I dedicated this fight to him.
Every fighter has a plan until ego walks into the ring first. And when confidence turns into arrogance, combat sports have a way of delivering the harshest lessons imaginable. Over and over, history shows us fighters who dance, taunt, and showboat, only to be violently reminded that skill, timing, and discipline always beat attitude. One of the most brutal examples came on May 30th, 2014, when Manuel Char stepped into a Moscow ring against Alexander Povetkin, believing confidence alone could carry him to a world-level victory. Char walked in with swagger, acting as if he already owned the belt, but the moment the bell rang, Povetkin dismantled him with cold efficiency. Povetkin's combinations sliced through Char's guard, and every punch looked like it was charging interest on a debt Char didn't know he owed. By the middle rounds, Char's confidence had disappeared completely, replaced by a desperate attempt to survive. Then in round 7, Povetkin unleashed a perfect left-right-left combination that detonated on Char's face, dropping him flat to the canvas in a knockout that erased all the pre-fight bravado. Another unforgettable case of arrogance backfiring came when Ezra Arena walked into the ring acting as if he had discovered cheat codes for boxing. With his hands low, chin high, and constant taunting, he treated Ben Whittaker like a sparring partner rather than a dangerous opponent. Whittaker didn't get emotional or rush. He calmly began landing clean punches to the body and head, breaking Ezra down one shot at a time. When Ezra realized his tricks weren't working, he resorted to dirty tactics and cheap shots, but Whittaker stayed focused. By the end of the fight, Ezra wasn't just beaten, his entire approach to boxing had been exposed. Whittaker had dismantled his ego with precise, disciplined punching. Then there was Mitch Green, who once walked into a fight against Mike Tyson, believing he could expose the young knockout artist from Brooklyn. Green talked big, acting like he was about to write Tyson's obituary before the fight even started. But inside the ring, his main strategy became holding on for dear life. Tyson's explosive left hooks battered Green relentlessly. By round 6, the crowd wasn't even watching the fight anymore. They were counting how many times Green's mouthpiece flew across the ring. Tyson ended the night with another crushing knockout, proving that confidence means nothing when you're standing in front of a wrecking ball. Not every ego collapses under fists alone. Sometimes chaos meets even greater chaos. Geronimo dos Santos, a massive heavyweight nicknamed the Chef, walked into a fight against Vyacheslav Datsik as if he were preparing dinner. But Datsik was not a normal opponent. He charged like a human hurricane, throwing wild punches and overwhelming Dos Santos instantly. Within seconds, the so-called Chef realized the kitchen was closed. Dinner was canceled, and he had no desire to stay in that ring another second. In 2023, Gyar Tatoyev walked into the Hype FC cage, acting like clowning was a legitimate fighting style. He danced, taunted, and mocked Shamsudinov, believing chaos would confuse him. Instead, Shamsudinov's punches stamped Tatoyev's face with authority. In round 2, one perfectly timed right hand ended everything, deleting Tatoyev's confidence in a single moment. Arrogance also found its punishment when Paulie Malignaggi faced Sam Eggington. Malignaggi, a former world champion, taunted and showboated throughout the fight, believing his experience would carry him. But in round 8, Eggington dropped him with a massive body shot, knocking him out cold and silencing every word he had spoken. In Muay Thai, Ramzanov believed his height made him untouchable against veteran Nongo. After gaining early success, Ramzanov began taunting and showboating. But in round 3, Nongo landed a brutal shovel hook to the body, followed by a devastating combination that ended the fight. It was a reminder that reach might win you moments, but timing and violence win you wars. Michael Venom Page once treated a cage fight like a dance floor, taunting and showboating against Douglas Lima. But Lima wasn't impressed. One clean shot sent Page crashing to the canvas, ending the performance and restoring reality. In karate combat, Vitaly Surtan faced a showboating opponent who turned the fight into a circus. But when round 4 arrived, Surtan delivered a razor-sharp head kick that wiped out all the clown energy in one brutal moment. In Coliseum combat, Robert Morrow faced a loudmouth opponent who talked more than he fought. Morrow treated his ribs like they owed him money, smashing them with knees until the referee stepped in. Juan Diaz once showed off against veteran Marquez, but experience caught up to him. In round 9, Marquez landed a huge uppercut and right hand, knocking Diaz out and proving that wisdom beats youth when ego takes over. Rodtang believed Tenshin's punches were soft, but Tenshin answered with speed and precision, winning a brutal war. Ryan Charlton promised to knock out Adam Azim, but Azim dropped him twice in round 1 and finished him in round 2. Jake Paul and Ben Askren's trash talk ended when Paul knocked Askren out in less than a round. And even champions who cheat or show disrespect find themselves humbled when the truth arrives. Ego doesn't just create drama in combat sports, it creates openings. And those openings almost always lead to disaster when someone across the ring knows how to exploit them. One of the clearest examples happened when a loudmouth kickboxer spent the entire build-up mocking his opponent's ability, only to get caught by a perfectly timed head kick that shut off his lights instantly. The crowd watched as the fighter who had been laughing moments earlier lay motionless on the canvas, learning the hard truth that disrespect in a fight has consequences. In MMA, the same pattern repeats endlessly. Fighters who taunt with their hands down, who turn their backs, or who act like entertainers instead of professionals always find themselves punished by someone who stays disciplined. A perfect example came when a showboater attempted to spin and dance inside the cage, inviting his opponent to hit him. The invitation was accepted. A single straight right hand landed square on his jaw. And the show was over. No more dancing. No more smiling. Just a brutal reminder that this is not a stage. It is a battleground. In boxing, disrespect has destroyed careers. Fighters who walk in believing they are untouchable often get caught by someone who stayed quiet and prepared. One arrogant contender spent an entire press tour calling his opponent slow and washed up, only to be dropped 3 times in the fight before being stopped. Each knockdown peeled away another layer of his ego, until nothing was left but a beaten man trying to survive. Another fighter waved his hands and laughed at incoming punches, confident that his reflexes were enough. Then one punch got through. His legs buckled, his smile vanished, and the referee had to save him from further damage. The audience learned again what fighters learn the hard way. You can't laugh at power. Even in bare-knuckle fighting, disrespect gets punished instantly. One fighter walked forward, taunting with his chin high, daring his opponent to hit him. He got exactly what he asked for. A brutal right hand sent him crashing backward, ending the fight in seconds. The crowd erupted not just because of the knockout, but because of the poetic justice of watching arrogance collapse under reality. Another bare-knuckle fighter tried to intimidate his opponent with trash talk and pushing before the bell, but when the fight began, his opponent used crisp punches and calm footwork to take him apart. Within a minute, the bully was bleeding, stumbling, and begging for a break. In kickboxing, the pattern is no different. Fighters who drop their hands, who taunt mid-fight, or who celebrate too early always pay the price. One fighter raised his arms in victory while his opponent was still standing. A second later, a head kick landed and ended the fight. His celebration turned into humiliation in an instant. Another fighter shouted insults in the clinch, only to eat a knee to the face that sent him collapsing. The crowd didn't cheer the insult. They cheered the knockout. Even legends have learned this lesson. Great fighters like Roy Jones Jr. and Nassim Hamed built their fame on confidence and flair, but when that confidence crossed into disrespect, they were eventually caught. Hamed danced and taunted against Marco Antonio Barrera, believing his speed would save him. Instead, Barrera stayed patient, walked him down, and beat him for 12 rounds, stripping away the illusion of invincibility. Jones, known for his swagger, eventually met fighters who stayed disciplined and punished his mistakes. These moments didn't erase their greatness, but they reminded everyone that even legends must respect their opponents. What makes these moments so powerful is not just the violence, but the lesson behind it. Combat sports are brutally honest. You cannot fake toughness. You cannot talk your way out of a punch. You cannot taunt your way to victory. Every time someone chooses ego over discipline, they create a moment where reality can strike. And when it does, it strikes hard. This is why fans love watching arrogant fighters get humbled. It isn't about hatred, it's about fairness. When someone disrespects the craft, disrespects their opponent, or disrespects the danger of the sport answers back. The ring, the cage, and the mat do not care about personality. They only care about preparation, timing, and execution. And the moment someone forgets that, they become a highlight reel for someone else. So whether it's boxing, MMA, kickboxing, or bare-knuckle fighting, the pattern never changes. The loudest fighter is rarely the strongest. The flashiest fighter is rarely the most dangerous. And the one who talks the most is often the one who falls the hardest. In the end, respect isn't just polite in combat sports. It's survival.